7 of the implementation of the Level 1 learning programmes and Level 2 learning programmes poster. Step 7 is all about creating an individual timetable for students engaging with the Level 1 and the Level 2 learning programmes. As you can see from the graphics on the slide, this could and should involve students accessing subject classrooms as well as resource and withdrawal time. The main rule to follow here is that whatever supports are put in place in terms of placements in classrooms and withdrawal and so on, meet the specific and identified needs of students in question. There is a useful curriculum planning tool that can be found on the leadership section of the JCT website, www.jct.ie. The link can be found here in the PDF. This planning tool enables school leaders and managers to ensure minimum time requirements for priority learning units, short courses, well-being and other subjects are met. This curriculum planning tool is for use by post-primary schools. We do have a curriculum planning tool for special schools on the way. It is a good idea for schools and teachers to follow us on Twitter and also join our mailing list to be kept up to date with updates. Step 8. Review. Step 8 involves teachers, the SET team, parents, students and school management collaborating on an ongoing nature to ensure that student learning is happening and learning outcomes are being met. Once again, schools may choose to use the student support file to keep a record of this ongoing support and evaluation. There is a booklet provided by the NCCA in relation to ongoing reporting for effective teaching and learning, and school leaders may be familiar with this document. It is worthwhile looking through this booklet in relation to the Level 1 and the Level 2 learning programmes and agreeing on some protocols. On the ground, there are many resources that teachers can use to help them consistently review and evaluate student progress. Some of those documents are linked here in the PDF. You can see the teacher checkpoints, which are essentially all of the learning outcomes from the priority learning units in one document. A lot of teachers use this to document and to support their evidence portfolios. They simply tick the learning outcomes that have had evidence to support that learning intended in the portfolio. The other document that you can see on the screen is an overview chart. There is one of these for Level 1 and for Level 2. It gives teachers the opportunity to identify which learning outcomes have been evidenced and to keep a bigger picture review of that. So when it comes to the end of the 3 years and looking for the majority of learning outcomes, it is much easier to see. This will then support teachers as they go about giving the descriptor for the priority learning units, depending on the Level 2 or the Level 1. Step 9. Timeframe. Step 9 is all around building a time frame to enable teachers and the SET team to work together to gather evidence, to review progress and to evaluate the portfolio. The links on the screen bring you to 2 useful documents that can be found on the JCT website. The first document provides an overview of the 3 years of junior cycle and some key tasks to complete in relation to gathering evidence and reviewing progress. So you will see there are actions here that you can identify whether you do them in year 1, in year 2 or year 3 or indeed all of the years. This list of actions is not exhaustive. The second link brings you to an Excel sheet which you may be familiar with if you used this to identify which learning outcomes in which subjects can be followed. This Excel sheet is to keep a record of evidence that has been gathered. Subject teachers may choose to identify on this Excel sheet which learning outcome they covered, when they completed an assessment task, and whether there was any evidence uploaded. You can, of course, edit this Excel sheet to make it work for you. There are other sample e-portfolios on our website. There are always a number of questions from schools around this step. Whose responsibility is it in maintaining this system? And how does evidence make it to a portfolio? Who decides on the descriptors given to students' work and their final achievements? In answer to those specific questions, we would say school management has the role of deciding who maintains the system. It is up to the school to gather the evidence for the portfolio in the best way that suits them. Some examples are asking that all teachers send evidence to the SEN room or resource room at a particular time during the year, or that the person overseeing the programmes goes round to the subject teachers at specific stages during the year, or that the student carries their evidence with them from class to class and then to withdrawal or support or wherever the portfolio is kept. It really depends on the school context and also the capabilities and abilities of the students in question. In relation to who decides on the descriptors given to the students' work and final achievement, that again is a decision for school management, but should really involve teachers, SEN team, school management and the student themselves. We discussed this collaborative process in more detail in our collaborative journey screencasts and PDFs. We do encourage school leaders and teachers to keep in touch with the Level 1 and the Level 2 team, as updates are always happening, and if teachers have specific questions around the implementation of the Level 1 learning programmes and the Level 2 learning programmes, they can email us to seek clarification. Step 10. Admin. Step 10 provides schools with some basic information around the junior cycle profile of achievement. As the slide shows, if a student has engaged with the Level 2 learning programmes only, the school needs to request access to something called JCAD, which is the Junior Cycle Award Database. Access to this database should be requested from the department. All special schools also access JCAD. If a student has engaged with Level 3 and Level 2, they will have to add priority learning units to a student's profile on the student record on PPOD. There are 2 handbooks that the department forward to schools and share on the Department of Education's website to support schools as they go through this process. Again, you can get in touch with the Level 1, Level 2 team for support in this area. The first JCPA for students engaging with the Level 1 learning programmes will be given out in 2021, and we'll provide further details on this nearer that time. Step 11. The final step of our poster, Celebrate. This is one of our favourite parts of working with the Level 1 and the Level 2 learning programmes. The sense of achievement from students and parents is incredible when they receive their junior cycle profile of achievement. The JCPA provides an opportunity to formally report on engagement and achievement of students in relation to priority learning units, short courses, other areas of learning and subjects where appropriate. Going forward, there will also be a space on a JCPA to reflect on the wellbeing programme that all students have engaged with also. Schools decide to celebrate their students' achievements in lots of different ways. We have been really lucky. We've seen portfolio parades, mini speeches from students, show and tell exhibitions, and so on. Quite often, community members and parents of students are invited in to share in the celebrations. All JCPAs should be given to all students on the same day. That brings this screencast to a conclusion. I hope that it made this step 7 to 11 a little clearer for you. And as with all of our screencasts, all of these links are live and will bring you to the relevant documents that can help support you engage with that particular step. You could also access the PDF version of this screencast to be able to access those links. Thank you very much.